Oh yes, legends. It is Friday today. Let's go. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Let's analyze the situation here all together. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Hope you're doing absolutely wonderful, guys, today. And we are going to be discussing the price of Bitcoin. It's looking weak. Are we going to get the rollover? This is mainly the scenario that we are going to talk about, of course. Make sure to smash up that like button on your way in. As I get this sorted out, I'm going to go quickly through the comment section, see what the community are saying. Okay, let me know how you're feeling. Are you feeling bearish? Are you feeling bullish? Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if you got the music here. It is Friday, guys. Hope you have a great weekend ahead of you, and let's discuss the different movements. Yesterday we were talking about that nice little bounce, got stopped out, guys, at break even from this long position. That was it was acceptable. We had the chance eventually of taking out these highs and maybe these highs, right? It's just an execution of a three-wave structure. We got the bounce, but the bounce came back down, and now we are getting supported here in this zone. It's actually an interesting area. And I know when you do zoom out a little bit, it's like, guys, it's over, right? It's over. The pump, the hype, that's it. This is a structure that looks very much independent from this movement, right? And it's forming multiple 1-2s just to get the breakdown. We're going to correct the entire move to the upside. Something similar that happened at all-time high, right? Where you're kind of having this massive move to the upside. Let's go. We're going to go to much higher levels. This is a descending wedge. And then it's the boop, 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 multiple 1-2 breakdown, right? Ooh. So it's kind of the decision zone where we are at the moment, right? Do we have something similar from all-time high where it looks like a wedgie structure, but it's multiple 1-2s and bang, we break down? I don't know. No sé. What do you think, guys? We do have some decent support, but we are really getting into an individual movement here from this one. Could it still be a wave 4 when we do consider 1, 2, 3, 4? Technically, yes, but would it be nice to already get some bounces here? We are getting a lot of support in this zone. It's interesting, some wicks to the downside. We want to be extremely cautious, of course. Let me know if you're in shorts, if you're looking for longs, or it's short only, guys, because we're rolling over 98k here. Was this the local top? Let me know in the comment section, what is your sentiment? How are you feeling, guys? Let me know right away. Let me go quickly through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community, of course. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. It is Friday today. We can put the music a little bit higher, I think, because it is Friday, right? Much love. Happy Friday. Much love. Party outfits. Almost got the shirt on today. Almost. But yeah, we need to get that party outfit for Fridays. We definitely do. Buenos dias, ex Kebas. How are you doing? Hola, Andy. Let's have a great stream. Let's do so. I'm going to be answering lots of questions, possible charts that you want me to take a look at, or, you know, time frames on Bitcoin. Let me know the coordinations in the comment section. After I do my analysis, I will go through you guys. Simple 3 Jack. Hola, leyendas. What a legend. It's legend time. Vizset 30. Absolutely it is. Coffee time for me, Eduardo. Buenos dias, Paul. How are you doing? A lot of people talking in Spanish here at the moment, which is awesome to see. Anybody that doesn't know, I am Spanish. Born and raised in Spain. Buenos dias, Andy. Paul, much love. Maku, hit the like button. Absolutely. Do so, guys. Smash it up if you do enjoy the content. And let's discuss a little bit of the price of Bitcoin. My goodness. WXY from the top where W is done, and this mess is almost finished. Triangle in an X. We're going to be discussing that because it does look very overlappy. It does look quite corrective. But the bearish scenario, look no further. It would have to be multiple 1-2s. This is extending a little bit too much in time. So preferably this would be the high here. If we do create another high, this momentum would be extremely long from this. So it's not ideal If you want to see multiple 1-2s, you want to see the 2s similar in size, okay, and you know, really start rolling over. If you take out the highs here locally, it's just going to be a very, very stretched. Still possible for the multiple 1-2s, but it does favor more of a correction, I have to say. But this is kind of the trappy zone. On the higher time frames, we're discussing as, you know, was this the local top, or do we form one more high and then come down, right? Overall, a correction on the higher time frame is looking more interesting, inevitably, just because of the power of the movement that we got here already. Okay, you know, it's losing momentum, losing steam, and eventually on the 15-minute time frame or 5-minute time frame, when we do take a look at this momentum to the downside, we always need to consider that the local high could be in already, right? Because same scenario happened here with Bitcoin when we were hitting all-time high, massive rally to hit $126,000. You start building this kind of wedgy scenario, which you can get trapped believing that it is corrective. However, in this case, we did form the multiple 1-2s. It's just not, it was just like that. Multiple 1-2s it was, right? After getting that massive, big volume breakdown. So it can look corrective, it can look 3-wavy, but it could also be multiple 1-2s, something that you want to be ready for. And when we do take a look at the local price action, you know, the only bearish scenario to look at this as a possible motive wave formation or start of the formation would be a multiple 1-2. Now, if it is going to be corrective, if it is going to be a combination of a correction, like someone was mentioning here, there's several ways on how you combine the correction here, how you can combine the correction. Then if we do test the lows, we are not expecting a successful breakdown if it is going to be corrective. So when you think about trying to catch the high or catch the low, if you have levels of confluence, such as naked point of control or point of control of this area, right, it kind of looks attractive to see if it does get a reaction, right? We got a lot here going on down here, right? There is some pretty decent support. Wick the lows, or, you know, would I consider a possible swing failure pattern from the lows? We love swing failure patterns here, guys. It's like the meat and potatoes, right, of the setups. We love them. We love the liquidity grabs. We love the fake outs, because it gives us a good position. It gives us good risk management. The danger of this zone, right? The danger of this area where we have high volume, right, on the movement up. We got a nice consolidation, nice point of control, just slightly beneath the lows that were created here yesterday. It's an awesome zone to kind of create that fake out, either at the point of control or either wicking the low here and getting a significant rally, right? It's a dangerous zone. Being aware of the bearish case, which would be multiple 1-2. You do not want to get trapped into long positions here if you do not react at certain levels for a swing failure pattern. If you break through, you break through. You do not add to the position. You do not do anything. You need the reaction at the low at a specific level, right, to enter and have a stop loss. You cannot afford to be in a long position on a major dump. So we want to understand the risks that there are, and as we understand the risks of breaking down in a wave 3, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. This would be a little bit of a shallow 2, but it's acceptable. If we move down from here, we break through or we hold. We hold, then this is the zone that you want to look for the execution stop loss at the low, because it could react nicely. It could react nicely, right? So that is the only execution that we have here on today. I have to say, it would be nice to sweep up the lows. Will we get those lows being swept or not? Well, I have to say, it's, you know, this can still be a correction, believe it or not, right? It's not time to be very bullish up here. It's not time to be very bullish. We've been insanely bullish, right? Market has been very, very parabolic throughout the last few days. And, you know, throughout the beginning of the week, right? End of the week, beginning of the week. I don't know if I want to be too bullish here. We're breaking the parabola. This is kind of being a little bit of an independent wave. A multiple 1-2 is, you know, very much realistic here. And we know what Bitcoin likes to do, right? Massive rally, get everybody bullish. Boom, boom, boom. This is corrective. I don't think so. I don't think so, right? Bang, breaks through. We don't want to get trapped, right, in longs. We don't want to get trapped in longs if it is going to be a multiple 1-2. However, it is support. There are some possible executions if we come down there on the reaction, reclaiming the point of control, or reclaiming this low over here. Wick the lows, because there is going to be many stop losses in this area that can be whipped out before maybe getting a bounce. So it's just an interesting execution. Will we get it or not? We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. These are guidelines. You know, what can I say? I'm not interested in a long in this area. And I'm not interested in a long in this area if the price maintains beneath the levels. Once we get back above as an SFB, it could be a rally that we could be forming, right? Entry, stop loss, look for that bounce. Will we bounce from here? Will we move down from here? Well, this is a little bit of a boring, rangy structure, right, that we have. You know, I have no interest whatsoever to try and speculate, is the highs going to be hit or the lows are going to be hit, right? I kind of prefer the liquidity grab and look for the reversal side. So there is a possible shorting scenario, which is getting to the top of the highs here. However, let's go through that scenario. So let's leave these levels on the chart. We'll combine Elliot Wave theory and all of that later on, guys. I know we're going to leave Elliot Wave theory for the next coming minutes. Not everybody enjoys complex Elliot Wave theory possibilities because it's just complex and a lot of people don't follow through. I do understand that. So, but let's talk about the levels. Some simple things, right? Let's talk about simple things, right? Risk management, how to execute the trade, how to manage risk, right? And levels that could actually get the bounce, understanding the risks, right? As a trader, we need to be pretty neutral and be very understanding on the possible outcome. Yeah, I would be interested in a long, interested in a long here. You know, we got some support, a double bottom. We can count a 5 waiver. It's very much a possibility that we bounce. And if this bounce can maintain the overall local structure to the upside, then it's worth the shot, right? Good execution, good entry. I understand the danger here. Multiple 1-2s. Maybe this is a shallow 2 and we're just building up 1-2, boom, 3, right? We start moving down very aggressively throughout the next coming hours. It is Friday. Friday's kind of people are going to sell to get cash and literally go out, right? Party in the weekend, fancy dinners. And so selling on Friday is we don't like Fridays too much to be very, very bullish. So we want to be extremely cautious because it is a Friday. People want to sell their assets and go out. So before we move forward, I forget here always with the disclaimer, this content is for educational purposes only, guys, and it's not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision. So I am interested in longs. But I know the dangers, right? It's not a zone that we want to be too bullish, right? The momentum to take advantage was long here, or long here, and take advantage of this momentum compounding into longs. I was out of all of the long positions with that last attempt yesterday to see if we're going to push to the highs, but we can see that was not the case. So regarding new longs, anybody that catched below 98k with that anchored VWAP from all-time high, absolute legend, right? Absolute legend. I have to say, this anchored VWAP from all-time high, it was, you know, pretty decent considering it as a swing short perspective level of resistance. We understand that, man, this is the point of control since November of 2024, right? You know, this ain't a level to be ever so bullish. Big resistance. This is actually not a bad zone to start considering short positions eventually, right? At this 97k territory, based on the resistance that we have on the chart. Damn, it's the point of control, the highest volume node, right? And since November of 2024's price action, this is not a zone to be extremely bullish, right? Just considering the resistance, we are getting that reaction, as we can see. Not major rejection, couple of $1,000, but it is reacting heavily to this anchored VWAP from all-time high, the point of control since November. It's a pity that we did not hit the 382. We barely missed it. Maybe on some exchanges we scratched the 382 Fibonacci. Just a lot of nice confluence here at this 98, 97k territory, right? So we want to be cautious eventually. The movement is strong. It is getting a little bit, you know, I wouldn't say exhausted, because there is that potential of this being corrective. I like the idea of this, you know, giving it a chance for it to be corrective. We need to give it a chance. Lots of overlap, and, you know, lots of support still here. So the bounce, you know, is a possibility. What can we say more here? Longing in the middle of this kind of triangle-ish scenario is a challenge. You know, I'm really literally, when we're in the middle of a range, when we've been forming a range, I literally don't want to speculate on a long or a short, because, you know, you either come up to the highs or come up to the lows. I would rather see a movement to the highs and, based on the reaction, execute a scalp short or a scalp long, just for a good entry. So, you know, there is the chance as well. Could this be 1-2-1-2 to the upside? I mean, the movements down are coming almost to the 0.88. Well, literally, yeah, the 0.88 Fibonacci. These are very, very steep wave twos. Not the greatest, but could this pop up here in a wave 3? Yeah, it could, but just really not interested in doing anything where we are in this very, very boring range in the middle of the local range. So a sweep of the highs or a sweep of the lows would be the name of the game here. Just remaining patient to see how we test those highs or how we test those lows. VWAP currently not doing anything. We're at the middle. It's been a little bit of resistance throughout the last hour. When we consider the structure, what can we consider about this structure? Vamos a ver. Many different combinations that we have here. Elliot, you know, a WXY can be very, very, very backstabbing, because you could have a 3-wave move down here, and that's your wave W, for example. This could have been your wave X right there. Could have this been your wave Y? Well, it's a little bit, we want a bit of a zigzaggy move for a wave Y. Could it have been yeah, I'm just looking to see if the end of the move could have been here. The only way we could finish a movement exactly at this low is that if we have a WXY from here. Bitcoin pumping at the moment. We're going to see New York open in the next minute, guys. So is there the potential of this being W, wave X, and you have a zigzag down here in your wave Y? That's possible. This could be counted as a 3-waver. It can be counted as a contracting diagonal. And then this being the bounce in your wave X and a zigzag in wave Y. Very much a possibility. Something that is not favoring the multiple 1, 2, which would be 1, 2, 1 and 2. Either it would be a if this is going to be a triple 1, 2, problem here with this second wave 2 has gone too steep, hitting the 0.88. That is not a common target for a wave 2, I have to say. Not a common target. Bitcoin wanting to get a little squeeze to the upside at the moment. Trying to visit the highs. Trying to visit the highs here. So, almost coming to the highs of the range, not quite testing the highs. Interesting where these highs that are providing resistance, we do have the previous day value area low, if I'm not mistaken, at that area, right? So this is it is an interesting level of resistance. Previous day value area low, preferably a wick to the high, or if you break out, it could reclaim previous day value area low. I think a fake out from these highs would be interesting. Previous day value area low is what has been making this resistance, literally. We barely just missed those local highs by a few dollars, unfortunately. But yeah, we like to wick above some highs when we do have resistance. Previous day value area low with the local highs of today can be a little SFP. We just missed it by a few dollars here, unfortunately, for any of those scalpers out there. But breaking this level would be a little bit interesting. It might, it might continue the momentum. So it's either SFP or break it, reclaim, right, and get that little push to the upside to the previous day point of control, where we could get that reaction. But yeah, we just barely missed those local highs for a quick SFP. Yeah, missed it by a few dollars. So yeah, kind of testing the highs of the range or testing the lows of the range is a little bit of the name of the game here. Would have been nice to just wick here to get an execution short. Unfortunately, that is not happening. Let's quickly take a look at the stock market, see what's going on with the S&P 500. Trying to pump, getting a little bit of a attempt of pumping here. Let me know in the comment section, how are you feeling? Are you feeling bullish, bearish? We got a bit of a complex little bit of a correction. If we were to get to these lower highs, I have to say, at 97k, the probabilities of this being a correction eventually would be extremely high. If we manage to get to 97k, we're likely going to push to test the highs at some point, because with this move downside, you either have a multiple 1, 2. This could be a flat as well. This could be a running flat. it could be a running flat. So you got your wave 1, your wave 2, and another wave 1 and another wave 2 potentially here, even though it is extending a little bit in time. Let me just take a look at the timing here from this latest move down. Yeah, I mean, this would be extending over 6 times long from this potential wave 1. So this is a little bit of an individual wave here. Yeah, kind of multiple 1-2s here could happen to the upside. If we take out these highs, I would be a little bit concerned about the short, if I'm honest. If we take out these local highs, I think the price of Bitcoin could push up. So I'm a little bit cautious on this SFP, guys, and the main reason why is because of time. So I would be very, very cautious with this SFP from the highs. If this is your wave 1, this being your wave 2, if you take out the local highs here, this would be too long for a correction. Looks like a possible individual wave. I would just be aware if you take out these highs for a bigger pop up. Yeah, just taking into consideration the timing here of this momentum. Let me know in the comment section, are you feeling bullish? Are you feeling bearish? I'll go through the comment section in just 1 second, guys. Let me just get the levels from yesterday that we do have. Previous day value area low. Previous day point of control. And let's put them on the chart nicely here. And we'll go through the comment section to see the sentiment of you legends. Daily open. Struggling to break above daily open. Previous day value area low. We're doing a little bit of freestyle here with the levels, as you can see. And we'll go through the comment section. Make sure to get your comments in, guys. Okay, vamos. Let's go through comment section and see what's going on. A little bit cautious if we were to hit those highs for the short. Being aware of the breakout here and being aware that this could be an individual wave, meaning that, yeah, it could be multiple 1-2s. So this SFP is, I would be extremely cautious on that SFP right there, because I don't want to connect this momentum with this leg down. It is extending in time quite a bit. So a little bit cautious on getting a pop here. Then maybe previous day point of control could be a level of resistance. Yeah, not much confluence, but yeah, previous day point of control could be something. Oh, high volume node is here. Yeah, so sweep of the lows and sweep of the highs. Want to be a little bit cautious for a little bit more of a pumpy action here to the upside. So my overall plan here for a potential scalp entry would be a swing failure pattern of the local lows, which we're very, very close. We might get this on stream. We'll check the reaction. We'll check if it is going to form a liquidity grab. We do have this good support at the point of control just beneath the lows of yesterday. And we like the liquidity grabs for a major bounce to maybe sweep up the highs. We're going to have to see, guys, how we react at these levels. But let's get out of this range already. Being a little bit aware of the SFP of the local highs, I think it could push up. So I want to be a little bit cautious. We are aware of the breakdown of the multiple 1-2s, even though it doesn't look great for multiple 1-2s, but we need to be aware, of course, of that wave 3 just finally kicking in here. So we manage risk, we check the reaction, and we execute. That's what we do. So let's see. Focusing here on the 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. Not sure if you guys want me to zoom out a little bit on the 1 hourly, 4 hourly, and do a little bit of higher time frame scenarios here for the price of Bitcoin. Let's go through comment section, get your comments rolling in. Hello baby, hello, says GC, much love. Andy, can you check see cake US dollar tether? My goodness, cake US dollar tether, long time. Good analysis, the levels, theories, and what to look for. Eduardo, much love to you. Thank you, my man. Yeah, we try and do our best here. Very local, just for a new execution. We need to be aware for swing. This is a swing short zone. It is literally a swing short zone when we do take a look at the confluence that we have at 98K, right? It is literally, you know, now we're just really playing around here with, can we sweep the lows and get a bounce, you know, execute entry, protect position, you know, take profits if we get the bounce on the reaction at the lows. But on the higher time frame, we're hitting big resistance, point of control since November of 2024, anchored VWAP from all-time high. And we just need to be aware, considering the bearish scenario, which would be a WXY here, that is, you know, potentially literally maybe coming to its end stages, right? Where you have a zigzag move to the upside, WXY, and another zigzag up, and just looking at this for the correction. So, you know, it is really a swing short territory. Okay, 1%, 98, 97, stop loss, give it a bit of room, depending if we break out successfully or we double top here. A local double top would be the ideal of the highs, but this is what we have right at the moment, where you're like I want to short again at the highs, I want to short at the highs if we take them, I want to short a double top, and then there's no double top, right? We end up rolling over in the coming days. So yeah, I had to basically take the decision here at this 97, 98K zone if you wanted to participate, right, with good risk. You know, some people can use the anchored VWAP as the rejection from all-time high, right? The anchored VWAP from all-time high, sorry, right? Where you get above the VWAP, you get below the VWAP, and that's enough for an execution with stop loss above the high, and that entry would literally be 97.3-ish on the rejection of the anchored VWAP. But it's you know, this does have the potential in the next coming weeks to get a larger pullback for sure, based on the information that we have on the higher time frame here. WXY zigzag up, complex correction in your wave X, and another zigzag to the upside. When we focus on the lower time frames, I do acknowledge that potentially you do have the fifth wave here already finished, especially with this momentum that it's separating from this move, right? It's like an individual wave at this moment, speculating on a wave 4 here as a 1, 2, 3, 4. It is extending a little bit too much out of this wave, And obviously we could have already that that fifth wave in with the highest amount of volume. Unfortunately, when we do take a look at Coinbase or Bybit, this we consider the correction finished here, because all of this is very messy. I wouldn't consider wave 1 here and a wave 2. It's just not, this is extremely long. This is a combination of a WXY right there. Sideways complex correction. And the wave starts from this pivot. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very possible. Very much aware of the multiple 1-2s. Bang. Right? It's just very, very classic for Bitcoin. And when we consider the fourth wave here as the highest volume, 1, 2, and all of this is your third wave, just because you have the highest amount of volume here. This fourth wave is a little bit, I mean, still very much technically possible. There are some guidelines here that is telling us that it is a little bit extended, but it's not invalidated. Wave 4 is not invalidated here when we consider still. Wave 4s are long, so one more high just wouldn't look pretty based a bit on the timing, but it's still naturally a possibility. Okay, so yes, vamos. It's a bit stuck in the middle of the range here from today. Very, very boring, slow price action on Bitcoin here. Sweeping some lows or sweeping some highs. Somebody's saying it's a higher low, it's going to form a higher low. A bit boring today, Friday. Low volatility. S&P not doing much. Let's go through the comment section. See you on 80K. Yes, sir. Money flow coming out hard. Yeah. See you on 80K. Let's do a poll, guys. I want to know the sentiment here, really. Locally. Bitcoin for the next 1-2 weeks. Down, down, down. Up, up, up. Get me the votes, guys. Make sure to get your votes in here. Let me know right away on the poll. Hold on a minute. Bitcoin for the next 2 weeks, guys. 1 to 2 weeks. What is going to go on? Let me know. Get your votes in. Your sentiment, Bitcoin for the next 1 to 2 weeks. Down, 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 or up, up, up. We continue the momentum. We have slowed down a little bit, but we can fit in a correction. CBM, Crypto by Mattia, is in the comment section, guys. Go and check out this dude because he's absolutely awesome. Great education, great news, and all sorts related to crypto and the economy, really, on his channel. Go and check out Crypto by Mattia, CBM. Much love to you, brother. Bitcoin, 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 and Bitcoin. Yes, sir. Mark Dutch, much love. Let's get it, Goatee Andy. Eddie, much love, my man. Happy Friday. BTC is in the process of a major upgrade. Woo! Let's go. We got Satoshi Nakamoto here in the comment section, guys. You would never thought that, did you? Well, we have him here in the comment section. Satoshi it is. He's here, baby. Of course he follows me. Come on, guys. What do you think? Much love. Ethereum plan today. Ethereum plan today. Ethereum actually looks a little bit juicy. We've been providing a few updates on Ethereum today in the community. Shout out to Devil. He's been providing the Bitcoin updates today in the Legends community. Got a nice little scalperado today on the price of Bitcoin. I've been checking his updates. Just a little movement to the upside in this little range. A little scalp, guys. If you are interested in joining the community, make sure to send me a DM down below, guys. You got the DM here. Join right now. The Telegram. Send me a DM right away if you want information to join the trading community. You spelled everything wrong. I'm not sure if that's you spell my name wrong. Holy yeah, some of these names are pretty crazy. I'm holding short. Makes sense. Higher time frame. Today we'll, looking for a little bit of scalperados, a little bit of a few levels that could get a reaction. Okay, just as a defensive entry and execution based on the reaction. We got a nice point of control from this range. We also have the previous day point of control, previous day value area low, and the range highs. I'm going to be a little bit cautious if we were to come up here, but eventually, of course, it could SFP. We missed it by a few dollars here. Want to be a little bit aware in this territory. If you ask me, the best one would be this one. We got an awesome point of control here. Awesome high volume node right there. Let's just fit this on the chart. We got a little bit of an NPOC right there. This would be the best the best level for a swing failure pattern, if you ask me. Get a little bit of a sharp, scary move down, right? A bit sharp, and test that higher low that we have from Wednesday. What do you think about that? That is a pretty awesome SFP. With a naked point of control, you got a nice high volume node here from Tuesday basically, of this week. Muy interesante. Quick reactionary move. This one would be a little bit shallow, but it is an attempt. Depends on how we test the lows. Do we break it and come down to this low, or do we get the reaction at this level? It is a zone to manage risk very, very well, of course. We do not want to play around in this territory when Bitcoin has been muy bullish for the last week, right? Not one of those zones that you want to be like, it's a correction, we're gonna move and go to 100k when we've had a major move already, guys. We want to be very, very selective with our entries. You don't want to get into a long and compound, right? It's dangerous. Es peligroso. It's muy dangerous. But the execution levels are there. Problem is if we do wick to them or not. Anyway, let's take a look at the poll here. Very, very boring where Bitcoin is at the moment. Been a boring day here in this little range. We want to get out of the range, or attempt to get out. Oh, there's actually a significant amount of people that are quite confident in the bullish momentum that we get to the upside. Bitcoin for the next 1 to 2 weeks, up. We do have 43%. 57% are feeling the loss of the momentum, right? And they're saying down. Okay, so there's a little bit of more bears in favor for the next 1 to 2 weeks here for Bitcoin to move down. Move up is finished. People are in favor of that scenario. I do get it. It makes sense. That's a bull flag too. I burnt so many accounts doing that. Doing what? Let's go up BTC. I think we are not gonna reach 94.8k at this time slot. If traders are watching that POV and think it's gonna get front runned. Yeah, front runs definitely do happen. Of course, they do get these levels can get front run eventually. But you're going to get the traders that are either going to long or short. And you do get those wicks, you do get those reactions and those stop losses being hit. It's the name of the game. Liquidity grabs, right? Fake outs, liquidity grabs. We like fake outs. We do like fake outs. Up, up, up to the downside, says Carlos. Carlos Headman, much love. Do you have any position at the moment? I do have still a long position and a cheeky short position, but not too heavy. But yeah, on my main account, I do not have any position open. The one from Bluffing, that was my main bigger trade that I had to the upside from last week, basically compounding. And yesterday I compounded at max level to speculate on this 3-wave structure in the profit, stopped out, okay, with this movement down. So, but yeah, we can any local position here at the moment is not interesting. As mentioned, we want to try and sweep some lows. It's very complex at this moment to try and predict that. The highest probability is a multiple 1-2 at this moment, with this being very long. That would have to be your wave 2 right there, just because you have a lower high. Yeah, these lower highs are very close to each other. I mean, it's not ideal. If this is a corrective structure, it's extremely long compared to this movement down. Yeah, a little bit of a no man's land zone for the probabilities here, as in the highest probabilities we break down already from here, or the highest probabilities we move up. Yeah, I don't have any of that at this point. Yeah, this territory becomes interesting, I have to say, for a new local scalp. This territory does become interesting for a new local scalp, so it's remaining patient to hit those levels. If they're not hit, it is what it is. If they break down, there's no trade. The reaction and the attempt, the execution is going to be what we have here at this level, or either at the lows here at 94.5k. It is muy interesante. Interesting level. Anchored VWAP from this pivot, which is the major start of the rally, is sitting down there. It is sitting there. It's a wiki territory. I have to say, the only interest zone I have is either this point of control or coming down to these lows. Those are the levels that need to react for the bounce, and we want to be extremely cautious. This is kind of a zone that you don't want to play around by longing. You know, you execute, you protect on the reaction. Tight stop loss. If it is going to bounce, it will bounce. If it's not going to bounce, you just don't want to be trapped in a long position at this point of this rally, with this momentum coming down, with the risk of multiple 1-2s. You don't want to be trapped in any long positions here. For sure, the possibility of breaking down in that wave 3 is very much real. Is there? This being a finished move is very much a possibility. Finished 5-waver to the upside. This could be the top. It could be the top. And we're just gonna get new bearish momentum for the next coming weeks, as people are saying, right? In the comment section. Naturally, this zone, as explained, is a kind of a zone to like maybe jump in with a small amount for a swing short trade. This was the overall question, of course, throughout the last few days. was, you know, do we take out the high again, or do we roll over from here already, right? It's just on the higher time frame, the probabilities are really looking for this movement to the upside to literally finish very, very soon, if not finished already. Looking for that high probability rollover with one more high or with not one more high, it doesn't matter, but the probabilities that this is coming to its end stages are very, very high, of course, on the higher time frame. Then lower time frame for execution trades. Just want to be aware of these levels. There is support, but there is support. There is the possibility of a combination of a three-wave structure, X three-wave structure here, coming down to test the lows right now. Coming to test the lows right now as we speak here. Little quick SFB. Very, very small one. Very, very small SFB of the lows. Muy pequeño, muy pequeño. Just tested the lows. Quick little SFB. Not sure if we're going to get a very, very cool bounce from here. We're going to have to see. But could have given you that very, very good tight execution. You want to see bulls stepping in here. I don't like very much how we've come down to this level. I don't like how we've come down to this level. Would it be nice from the highs, come down here and then get the bounce? The fact that we've formed this and traded here for 30 minutes down here. SFPs are much better. Yeah, it doesn't want an SFP at the moment. Yeah, no SFP. No swing failure pattern. It wants to, doesn't want to. I would not consider being in a long anywhere here if the price does move down from this territory. This is like no long zone. If you are attempting the long and it breaks through, don't want to be participating in this territory right over here. Anything above can be an attempt. Anything above can be an attempt, but in this zone, let's take a look here if there's any short traders entering. Not many, few shorts. Very, very low volume. Very, very low volume here. Few shorts entering. Not that much though, I have to say. It is Friday. It is Friday, not too much volume. Successful SFP, yes or no, guys? Do we get the bounce? Let me know. It is trying to. Let's go through the comment section. See what's going on. I don't know. I have to close my position. Mark Dutch, much love to you, my man. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Thank you very much for the support, Mark. Much appreciated for you to be here on a Friday. Thank you very much, my man. Hope you're doing well. Much love to everybody. Thank you, Mark Dutch. This promo has finished. This was finished. Okay, there's no more promo. We might get another promo soon, but at the moment, if you want to join the community, you have the link down below. Of course, DM me here, join the community, where we do daily updates, not only on Bitcoin, also on different altcoins, looking for possible setups, possible scenarios. Make sure to join. We've been working on this for the last few months. We've got coaches, possible setups, education every day, news. You have the community down below, guys, if you are interested in joining. Mark Dutch, much love, my man. Thanks for the support, man. You're absolutely awesome on a Friday. Come on, BTC, up, up, up. Yeah. Would be nice to get a little squeeze to the upside, sweep up the highs. Kind of makes sense, as these highs have not been tested by a hair. The fact that we've not tested the highs here is making me believe that these highs are going to be tested. It's not the same when you have a range from today, which you miss the highs of the range. If you sweep up the highs and then come down, it's a different story. But if you don't sweep up the highs on those bounces, it kind of looks attractive for the price to sweep up here. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Come on. We tested the lows of the range. Let's get that bounce, Bitcoin, to test the range highs for all of those people that are attempting this scalperado to the upside. Comment section. Give me education on Enna coin. Enna coin. Now that I learned to be patient, I only look at the price move and I can't decide what to do. Well, you just need to possibly execute on the reaction. Manage risk. If you are frozen with the execution of a trade, it's because you are risking too much. Okay? If you are not happy to get into this long position, it's because you're risking too much. Try trading this with $2. I can tell you, you're going to be a very, very good trader when you lower your risk. It's natural. It happens. When you fear the execution of a trade, it's because you're risking too much. You know, you're risking more than you're willing to lose, right? And it's going to hurt if it doesn't play out. But if you risk a few dollars, I can tell you, you're going to see how your trading does improve, right? When you're risking 1%, 2%, what you should be really risking. Remember, we are here to only scratch some dollars off the market, right? Regardless of how much capital you have, it doesn't matter. No trade is a trade too. Sit on your hands. Gambling is a waste of money. Vamos a ver. You're right, Andy. Oh, interesting. Andy, we're about hitting the VWAP. Andy, we are about hitting the VWAP. Right now as resistance or as, VWAP. Locally, local VWAP, yeah. VWAP could be a little bit of a struggle here. Bouncing $500 already from that SFP, guys. Not sure if some people executed this scalperado with success. First target would be the highs. VWAP is breaking out. Looks like it wants to pop out from the VWAP. VWAP for me is irrelevant when you are in a range and the VWAP literally does not much. A little bit of support here, a little bit of resistance here. But if you are in a range and you have the range highs, especially that haven't been swept here throughout today's price action just by a hair, and you sweep up the lows, I'm always going to target the highs if they haven't been swept. VWAP is really irrelevant where it is right now because it's just been, we've been trading around the VWAP the entire day today. So I wouldn't treat the VWAP as a resistance in a range, especially when the VWAP's been in the middle of the range, not doing much, right? Bit of support and resistance, but breaking it and, you know, up and down. When you're in a range and the range highs have not been tested, holy smokes, it becomes a very attractive target if you test the lows of the range to maybe squeeze up as your TP. Let's see if it does stretches here. I think it can. And obviously it could break this I'm not sure if I would be too interested of a swing failure pattern of the range highs at this point. Because I mean, of course it's resistance. If you break out above previous day value area low, I mean, it is resistance eventually. Naturally, it would, you know, it could wick and get a big correction. So any SFP would be kind of acceptable. Just be aware, if you pop out and maintain above, you get back inside previous day value area low, I personally would not want to have any business in shorting in this territory. This is a no short zone. You get back inside previous day value area low with this movement, price of Bitcoin definitely has a chance here to pop out. So it's not, you know, you don't want to be in the short if you break out from the range highs of today. At least, you know, for me, yeah. I'm just a messenger. Would be awesome that this was the low. Would be awesome if this is the low. You pop out here and you really take off. Holy smokes! It would be so nice. It would be so nice. Would be so nice if that does happen. Let me know, did anybody execute this swing failure pattern with stop loss at the low? Looked like it wanted to, it didn't want to. It kind of is right at the moment. It is already a minimum of 2 or 3 to 1 risk to reward, depending on your entry, of course. You want to be defensive on this right now. If you manage to get the Pico bottom here, you don't want to turn this into a losing trade, that's for sure. Do not turn this into a losing trade. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Let's go through the comment section. Only execution of the day was this one. We remain patient. We do not trade the middle of the range. We either sweep the lows or sweep the highs. We decided to sweep the lows first of all here, and now we are attempting the bounce. Let's see if this bounce gets a little bit of power and continues to at least test the range highs. Yes, I did enter the SFP. Lauer, much love to you. Absolutely awesome. We try and do this. The lower time frame goat. Much love, CBM. Much love to you, my man. Down, down, down. Get your votes in here for the next 1 to 2 weeks on Bitcoin. Down, down, down. This is only a scalp. It's only a scalp, of course. Only a possibility to sweep those highs of today's range. It is a move of $800. It's okay. Currently moving about $600. It's okay for a scalp. $500 move is a acceptable move for a scalp. Let's see if we do. I want to take a look at today's value zone. You know, even if we do pull back here, we do have the point of control of today in the value area low. We've tested the lows already. Let's see. First target preferably would be the highs of the range, which have not been swept throughout today. I mean, this is what's disturbing. If you form slightly lower highs without testing the dead cat bounce high, and you've tested the lows, it makes it attractive to sweep up those highs. Lows of the range have been swept, highs of the range have not been swept today. So range trading is very, very nice and lucrative. People are feeling more bearish for the next 1 to 2 weeks. More people bearish than bullish. 43% up for Bitcoin. Worried about Peter Schiff. Usually he is a strong contrarian indicator. What did he say? Peter Schiff? I would be more worried about Jim Cramer than Peter Schiff. Is he bullish on Bitcoin or crypto? Going to be Donald Luther Trump day soon. 98.5 consolidate, then short squeeze to 100k. 98.5 consolidate, then short squeeze to 100k. Maybe. SFB, super funny print. Swing failure pattern. It is somebody asking about what does SFP stand for. Swing failure pattern. It's a failed breakout. Still quite boring at the moment. Still inside of today's $1,000 range. 95, 96, not even reaching 96. What can we say? Do we test the highs of the range, guys? Yes or no? Super fat potato. That's what SFP is. Nice one. RVM, he said BTC up. Andy, new Fed president. That's going to be interesting. Nico, so 2021 drop was roughly 364 days. March 2024 drop 143 days. January 2025 drop 79 days. October 25 drop 45 days. So we're going to 250 or 40k. Yeah, interesting take here. We did not really touch NPOC. It did not really touch the NPOC. You mean to the downside? This one here? No, not it. It did kind of miss it. Oh, coming down here. Let's see if we do maintain a higher low. Let's see if we do maintain a higher low here for Bitcoin. Ideally we do. Let's see. Oh, oof, coming down nasty here. Coming down in a nasty way. Regardless, it's still a swing failure pattern. Regardless, it's still an SFB. Even though you haven't touched the naked point of control, as somebody was pointing out here. Oh, nasty rejection. Don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. Not much volume here coming in. Would have been nice to get that push to hit the highs. Yeah, didn't want to. Didn't want to, guys. What can we do? It is what it is. It is what it is. Should be out of that position already. Was a decent attempt. Was a decent attempt. We are downtrending though today. Moving down now, it's back to the lows. Moving down back to the lows. Let's see. Moving down back to the lows. Not SFPing. Failure attempt of the SFP. This is a no trade zone for me. Inside of this zone, inside of this box, we either SFP from here yeah, currently trading beneath the point of control. Not a bad attempt. Was not a bad attempt. So now we either move down to the lows or we either recover from here. But yeah, this is a no trade zone for me at the moment. No trade zone. Not a bad attempt, guys. It did pump $500. Came back down. Should be out as you come down to entry right there. Not a difficult short here. At least for me. Difficult short. So let's see if we do come to the next low. Let's see. We want to be cautious, of course, with the multiple 1-2s. Want to be cautious with that wave 3 potential. No successful SFP from here. Moving with a bit of volume. Want to be a little bit cautious here for the third wave potential. We don't want to play around here with the longs. Don't want to play around with any longs. Add to the longs. It is a dangerous third wave territory. But the dangerous zones is where you do get the epic bounces as well. This is why these levels, you know, they are attractive. Remaining patient to see if we recover above that low, or do we test below 94.6k, or get above this point of control. WXY, very much a possibility here. Let's get the VWAP out of the way. So we have a 3-wave move down, correction, and another 3-wave down. Very, very possible. Let me just check here some fib targets. Kind of these lows are very, 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 very attractive. These lows at 94.5 is very, very attractive when we consider the fib extension, because we do have a 3-wave move down, which we can consider your wave W, your bounce in your wave X, and then that's where we get the extension fib from the highs to the lows of W to the lower high here of your wave X, potential wave X. Does it want to SFB from the point of control? Just to add confluence here on this potential double zigzag, this would have to be your lower high right there. Or this could have been a triangle, actually. Could have been a triangle. So boom, boom, boom. Double zigzag WXY here could be one of these scenarios, legends. Okay. WXY could have been one of the scenarios in the bullish case. And to add confluence based on Fibonacci, when you connect the highs of this zigzag to the lows, to the bounce here, you have the one-to-one extension exactly at these higher lows. It is a very, very interesting level here. Very, very interesting level. One-to-one extension, 94.5k with that naked point of control from Tuesday and a higher low. This SFP has a lot of confluence. Not breaking down massively here. Are we getting a pile of shorts entering here, the market? Oh, 5 million shorts entering at the lows at 94.7. Mucho shorts, mucho shorts. Yeah, currently beneath those lows. This is an interesting area. We don't want to play around too much here with the longs. Don't want to play around because the risk of breaking down in a wave 3 here is very much a scenario. 1 2 1 2 1 2, and just breaking down very aggressively. Not going to play around here with longs unless we SFP successfully. We're not here from this low. This needs to reclaim that point of control, that low, and then maybe consider that bounce. Well, if you hold on here, that's good. If you hold on for a little bit and then reclaim, then yeah, maybe we can move up. Beneath the level, it's not too attractive. Beneath that point of control of this range, you're trading beneath the support, so naturally any price action beneath this pivot, unless you reclaim it here with a bit of strength, it's not going to be looking attractive. As we below resistance, I would say next level to remain patient is to see this higher low right there. That's an interesting level. Unless you reclaim this pivot. Interesting. Bullish case. WXY double zigzag. Bearish case, multiple 1-2s. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Wave 3 getting developed. Bullish case scenario. WXY double zigzag is the name of the game here at the moment, if it is going to get that bounce in this territory. Zigzag down, bounce, zigzag down. 1-to-1 extension is sitting below 94.5k SFP of the lows. Let's see if we do get down there. Just remaining patient. For me, we are inside the no trade zone regarding scalps. Okay, no trade zone. Don't want a short, don't want a long. We need to reclaim some levels or either test the lows. We want to be extremely cautious here with any scalp longs because we have the danger of breaking down in a third wave here, guys. Okay, there is big dangerados in breaking in a wave 3 here. Scalp longs should be executed only at the levels with good risk management. Anybody that attempted that long trade as a scalp should be naturally out of the position. Swing shorts could have the chance here. When we do zoom out, man, this is, yeah, when we zoom out on the price action here, this is not looking great for the bulls, I have to say. This is horrible, horrible momentum here. This is horrible, horrible as a correction. This is the territory of a classic descending wedge. Just like the all-time high scenario, right? Descending wedge, and then it breaks down, literally, right? Want to be very, very good with risk management, and obviously swing shorts. They, you know, longs are still available, but just at certain levels, right? You might think that this is a bull flag. You have 1, 2, 1, 2. You lost the momentum from this movement. People that are just doing general analysis of a bull flag, right? You know, are going to get insanely trapped here if they think that, you know, getting into longs, not managing risk. This kind of movement could happen. We are at that stage where it could happen, but it could also not happen. Get the bounce, right? So let's see if we do sweep up those lows. Will be muy interesante to see if we do so and check the reaction. It is exactly at the 1-to-1 extension when we consider the WXY double zigzag. And let's zoom out a little bit here. I just want to check. Yeah. Want to be a little bit defensive here on the possibility of that descending wedge. Sorry, that multiple 1-2, right? When you look, very, very similar wedgy, right? Similar wedgy bull flag. I see some people saying it's a bull flag as well in the comment section today. This is Nuke City zone, okay? We want to be, if Bitcoin's failing, we're probably seeing Ethereum and a few altcoins failing as well, or taking that movement down of today. We just want to be aware that this could be mirroring something very similar, right? From all-time high. You lost them big momentum. If any longs are taken, need to be taken at SFPs, at point of controls, at extension levels, right? Want to be very, very much aware of that similarity here. Big rally up, very bullish. We're only going to consolidate and go to 100k next, right? Bulls are going to get in denial when they see something similar to what happened at all-time high. So yeah, very much aware of this scenario happening here for Bitcoin. Let's see, vamos a ver. Coming down to test those lows. Get this box out of the way. We just testing those higher lows. Just tested those higher lows. Let's see if it does want to get a bounce. bounces if you want to get a little bounce from here. Quick SFP. Will it manage to get the bounce? Could be a bit choppy, could be a little bit noisy. Yeah, want to be aware here. Want to be very much aware. We could start getting into Nuke City here. It could naturally get a bounce in this territory as well, and the bounce is absolutely crap and form a lower high. But yeah, it's breaking out, breaking down here, wanting to break down here. This naked point of control. We want to be aware, guys, of that similarity of this movement that we had in all-time high on a Friday evening. We want to be very, very, very cautious here and very, very defensive if you do end up getting that swing failure pattern here. Not quite successfully swing failure pattern at the moment. We're just trading at that naked point of control. Little reaction, might get a little bounce. Quick little bounce here on Bitcoin, 1-to-1 extension. On Nuke City, guys. Want to be very, very much aware here of the bearish case scenario. Let's go to 100k. From here we bounce. Yeah, we need to react at the levels. If we don't, interesting area where we are at the moment. Interesting zone. Interesting zone of confluence. We got a naked point of control. We got the sweep of the higher lows of Wednesday. We got the 1-to-1 extension if we consider the double zigzag, zigzag down correction, zigzag down. 1-to-1 extension of this potential three-wave structure. Naked point of control, sweep the higher lows. It is a reactionary zone. For the moment, it is reacting. I'm always aware of the price, you know, bouncing, and it does create, you know, either a successful bounce and local market structure to the upside, or actually bounces, and sometimes it comes and wicks the low again, right? But for the moment, it's too soon to say. It's very fresh. This could get a little bounce and come straight back down. Someone saying that we bounce from here to 100k. Let's see. Oi. Let's see. Guys, much love to everybody. Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content. Let's see. Do we bounce from here successfully? Over 600 people watching. Much love to everybody. Smash it up. Only 166 likes. You must be joking. I'm out of here. All right. Let's go. Successful bounce for Bitcoin. Vamos, 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 vamos. Vamos, vamos. The zone that Bitcoin needs to hold. Or do we ultimately collapse, guys? We don't want to play around here too much, okay? With the longs, understanding the risk. This is high risk only for the people with low blood pressure, okay? And cold blood. You don't want to be playing around here too much just in case we end up breaking down throughout the Friday, right? Friday, Nuke City. Similar price action from all-time high. It's a bull flag. Boom, right? You know, if you don't react at certain levels, you don't want to play around here too much. We've had an awesome rally, just like we did here to all-time high in the last week. We do not want to play around here. This is really getting away from the momentum to the upside that we had. Very beautiful, very nice. I know we've hyped up getting that. You know, people saying that we're going to go to 100k. Let's go. We're going to go up. We're going to go higher. Apparently, it's struggling, and we do have the danger of breaking down here. It's not a zone to be very, very bullish. You react at the levels, or you do not react at the levels, and you nuke. We like quick reaction bouncers. We don't like dancing around out of zone too much. Yeah, looks like we'll probably want to try and nuke. Are we going to hold here? Are we going to hold? Let's go, let's go. Twitter is down. X is down. Is it? Is it now? Rook Chakra. Not very happy. Somebody being a knob by the looks of things. Being deleted by Mark Dutch. Mark Dutch, much love to you, brother. Yeah, not wanting to SFP at the moment. So, not wanting at the moment. So, not looking great. This could literally break down very aggressively on a Friday evening. You either bounce at the levels or you don't. Yeah, you never want to be too bullish with this kind of structure. We look at this, we look at this, uy, uy, uy. We look at this and we look at this. Much love to everybody here on a Friday evening. Crash coming. Similar to this one, right? Similar to this one. We are getting those similarities. The bulls are losing their chances here. I would not want to be exposed in any long position in any of this territory unless you react at the zones. Cyber attack. What happened? We got X down, being a cyber attack apparently. X is down, cyber attack. Twitter down. Something's going on. We got a messy world we live in. Buenas, buenas. MYKE00. Crash coming. Get your votes in here on the poll, guys. Not looking great for the bulls. Not looking good for the bulls. When Bitcoin is losing some important support levels, We are dancing right now at this zone of support. We do have a naked point of control, a sweep of the lows, but the price action is not looking great. Not looking great here. Needs to get some bullish market structure being built up here in the next couple of hours. But the weekend is coming. It is a Friday. Fridays are very well known where people just sell their Bitcoin and short the assets, take profits because they want to go out and party in the weekend. So I'm going to short on Friday. I'm going to sell my assets on Friday, right? And then I'll buy on Monday maybe. But I need some money for the weekend. CME gap almost closed at 94k. Interesting. CME gap. Let's go and see the CME gap here. CME gap almost closed. CME gap is closed. We do have a closed CME gap here. Oh, it's Tuesday we formed a gap. Let's go, guys. Let me know what you're going to do on a Friday today. Much love to everybody. Remember, if you are interested in trading, you do have the awesome platform of Bluffing, guys. Okay, you got the link down below in the description. Okay, you do get VIP 1 as you sign up to Bluffing, guys, which reduces your fees drastically. Anybody that is interested, make sure to check out Bluffing. Awesome exchange. And if you want to join the community, you do have the link down below in the Telegram, guys. Okay, we've got the coaches there providing analysis, setups, levels to pay attention, education every single day. Atus, David. We are at the weekly VWAP and V point of control on Atus, slightly below us. That is a good one. Cyphrux here. Don't worry, guys. I'll take one for the team and short it so it can absolutely moon. This is the stage that I'm concerned where we could be at the moment for Bitcoin, right? Friday, you're moving. You've had the move up, you've had the rally, you've got everybody hyped up with 100k and 102k and all of those lovely numbers to the upside. But the reality is that the momentum has been a little bit bearish. We can give chances to the bulls, but it's looking like the momentum is getting very, very lost at the moment, right? We've got a similar, yeah, we're losing that level at the moment, so it's not looking great. Multiple 1-2s and a third wave breakdown for today could be the name of the game, guys. Support levels are not reacting. This is a zone where I would not be interested personally myself. Somebody's saying here that we got the weekly VWAP. Weekly VWAP basically taking into consideration the VWAP from Monday, well below the weekly VWAP. Many shorts jumping in. Lots of shorts jumping in here, which is interesting. On Bybit. Lots of shorterados entering on Bybit here. Rest of exchanges also. Yeah, this is the classic move of Bitcoin, right? Lose momentum. It looks like a wedge. It looks like a correction, and it's multiple 1-2s. And it's a Friday also. Friday evenings, stuff going around the world. Not a great zone. We're breaking the levels, so we're not reacting successfully at the levels. Little bounce, but now beneath the level, so it's danger zone here. Danger zone. We need power eventually now from the bears for that wave 3. Need power from the bears here to break through that naked point of control and the lows. If not, reaction and bounce. You really want to see these levels being broken with power. If you tap the level, try and get beneath them, that's where you can form that swing failure pattern. Currently just trading at that naked point of control that we do have here from Tuesday. Literally at the naked point of control. Very choppy momentum, I have to say. Very choppy here, move to the downside. Not that it's like a nuke move down. Very choppy. They kind of want to. Still beneath the naked point of control. Very weak. Very weak. Got a big move down here. Crucial zone. Where are we at? You either continue nuking down here or it reacts in this territory and it bounces. The level is the level. The level is there. Bears are not pushing down at the moment. Where are we currently at? Lots of shorts piling up at the moment. Lots of shorts. I do get the idea, of course, jumping into shorts here for that potential wave 3, as we did have here back in the day from all-time high, right? We rejection, lower high, rejection, lower high, and it looks a wedge, it looks bullish, but then very similar, very similar. That's why you want to be aware that it's it could be game over for the bulls here. We literally have the highs also from the 5th of January. A little bit of a resistance support flip. Just at the higher lows. I mean, this is where we did get supported. So, I mean, it is a level. It is a level. We had the resistance support flip just on Wednesday. And now we're just wicking beneath the level. Well, we're kind of breaking it. No major reaction at the moment. Still beneath the levels. Bears can rip this level. They have the chance to rip to the downside. Let's go. Let me know what you're doing on Friday. Bounce. Andy Bounce is to take your money. Yeah. Maybe, right? Feels like a bear trap. Feels like a bear trap. Well, it still has the potential to not be this, right? You know, we're eyeing this scenario, which is very possible. We're beneath the levels, so slightly above the point of control at the moment. It is a zone where you bounce or you nuke. You bounce or you nuke down. 1 minute RSI looks like a bounce, should be near. Yeah, interesting. Jerome Powers in the comment section. Lauren, much love. Nico, what does people think about the wicks left behind that the market makers tend to go back to? So 49k double John Wick at 74.4k and 80.5k. What do the people think about the wicks left behind? Interesting question. One also here, 49k, 74k. Yeah, wicks left behind. We got those lows over here, 74.5k, 49k. Doesn't really matter. Bitcoin just trading here at the lows where we have the support. Attempting to hold this zone. Attempting to hold this zone. Muy importante zone. Much love to everybody. Thanks for joining the live stream today on a Friday evening. Bounce from yearly level 93. Yeah, we got the yearly level somewhere in that zone also. Yearly level is there. 93, 350. I wouldn't want to see the price coming that low for the bulls anyway. You know, if this is not going to be a double 1-2 or triple 1-2 and break down in a third wave, I mean, this would already be third wave territory. I wouldn't speculate on any bounces. It literally needs to bounce in this zone where it is at the moment. Taking into consideration the 1-to-1 extension, taking into consideration the support that we have here already. 1-to-1 when we consider the WXY coming down as low throughout today. You know, this would be dangerous for any speculative bounce if you come this low. This is like the zone that you want the local bounces, boom, double bottom even, but ultimately form bullish market structure. Weekend is coming, so don't expect much volatility through the weekend, of course. Bulls want to hold here. Dile que vamos para arriba, porfa, Lauren. Yes, let's see. It is trying to bounce here, but very, very fresh move. Very, very fresh. If we were to form a little bit of bullish market structure here, it might look like a flag. But you could be bullish, you know, you need bullish CVD divergence, lots of shorts entering, forming higher lows, and then it could be looking interesting. Of course, the weekend is coming up, so we cannot trust the weekend. Weekends are usually very rangy, so you either bounce aggressively today, Friday, or continue nuking today, Friday. And then obviously throughout the weekend, we'll see where we at. But yeah, it is Friday as well. Structure locally is momentum is moving down. Lots of people do eye this as well as a kind of flag. You know, you get people very hyped up with the pump. You come into higher time frame level of resistance. You kind of look corrective, right? It looks corrective. You get people very, very bullish, same as all-time high, right? You come all the way up to new all-time highs. You're looking very wedgy, very flaggy to just continue to the upside, right? We're going to break this flag to the upside, and wow, this was incredible. This was, you know, the major liquidation event that we had on the 10th of October. So very, very strong similarities, of course, with this price action as well, right? Where you have a massive rally, you hit major higher time frame resistance, loss of momentum, and you just give it all back, right? The movement is given back in a matter of a couple of days. At this point, if we do get that wave 3. So we are in wave 3 danger territory at the moment, and it is a Friday, so Fridays you want to take them with a pinch of salt when you have this bearish momentum. Let's go. Vamos. Much love to everybody. Quick, Andy, draw some bullish lines. When you're going to take a swing short position, I'm in a small short already. I'm in a small short. I would have, you know, the thing about shorting here, this 97k zone, it's a small short position. I want to go in with a heavier position, but you know, I haven't got the best entry, and just being aware that you could form another high here. I didn't catch the exact swing failure pattern from here, but swing failure patterns are obviously the double tops are the name of the game here. But yeah, was looking for a heavy short, but haven't built up a heavy short position, unfortunately. The moment I would be a bit heavy on the short, getting into new shorts or adding to the short, is if we do get a successful move down here, and of course we form that impulse to the downside, and then the bounce is where I want to get into more shorts eventually. But this is higher time frame stuff, of course. We would have to see a solid move down, right, and in an impulse, and then the bounce, of course, is going to be, that's going to take a few days eventually to develop, but then another lower high, and then we look for 80k and all of those numbers to the downside, right? Sweep up that liquidity that we have to the downside here massively, below 89k, below 87k. We've got lots and lots of liquidity down there. So if this overall structure is lost, if we do move down impulsively in that wave 3 and then 4-5, right, this ends up being an impulse to the downside. Yeah, there's no doubt that I would say that yeah, this is a WXY already finished. Zigzag up has finished here. If we move down to complete an impulse on the higher time frame, then this is the thing, when you try to catch the top on the rejection, understanding that you could hit the highs again. If I take the shot, I usually go relatively small, and then once in the next coming days, once you do have a confirmed, you know, impulsive move where you have multiple 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5s, and then you get that corrective bounce, this is the moment that you want to go heavy short. So if the price is going to come down right to below 88, 87k and even 80k in the next coming weeks, there will be time to identify a
bigger short position with a bit of confirmation. You know, this would be fitting in the WXY to the upside as the main scenario here, where you have the zigzag move up, WXY, zigzag to the upside. This has the potential of being the end of the movement up that we had since 80k. It has the potential of being the high to literally come down to take out 80k in the next coming weeks. So you know, you can get into a small short position. We were discussing this in the last few days. You can get into a small short. I didn't get into the high eventually. Manage risk 0.5%, 1%. You give a bit of room for stop loss. And then you can only get in with confidence if you form an impulsive move down, getting close to the lows here, and the bounce is very corrective. So you need that wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? And then the bounce eventually, if it is looking very overlappy and corrective, that's where you join in for then the third wave and you know, literally looking for that impulsive move down in the next couple of weeks. But you would have to have a finished impulse down, which we haven't got. You know, the bulls do have a chance here. They do have a chance. But yeah, this is like wave 3 zone, right? Your wave 3, if it's not built up today, it could be bouncing throughout the weekend and it's built up later. But you need that wave 3. You need that big volume move down and then the choppiness, right? To then label this as a solid impulse, and then the bounce, if it is overlappy, then yeah, that's where you're looking for the major swing shorts. It doesn't matter if you long from the low or you long from a higher low, right? So the idea here is to detect that lower high in the next coming days if you were to move down impulsively, right? Shorting exactly where we are at the moment would be a bad idea. I would prefer to look for a scalp entry long, basically at this SFB or point of control. Shorting down here is not the greatest. Eventually, I would rather look for longs on the SFBs or the reaction and protect position, because the bulls do have that there is a chance for the bulls for this to be corrective. Trying to bounce here, is getting a little bounce at the level of support. Nice bounce. Legends, much love to everybody. Little reaction bounce here at the zone of risk. Much love. Bitcoin Cash holding long now. You want to try and literally get into the recovery of the point of control. So we got that naked point of control or the lows. If you're attempting an entry here at this reaction zone, it's much better to attempt a long here with a tighter stop loss instead of longing here with the stop loss down here, right? It's just there's a big difference of trying to long the exact reaction of the low. Let's go. Pump it up. A bit up before the short, a bit up before the major rollover, right? A bit up before the major rollover. We are going to 96. We are going to 96, says Matas. Longs entering, says CBM. Yeah, Lots of shorts been piling up, so it's going to be difficult to form bearish CVD divergence at the moment. There's been lots of shorts entering here to the downside. We've got 10 million short positions in the last hour. So yeah, shorters entering here on the movement down at the lows, literally. So much better to consider a long position at support here on the reaction at the naked point of control. This move down here to short is like not the best. Rather look for longs at reaction zones. Give the bulls a chance. Manage risk very well. Someone saying we're heading to 96k. That would be awesome. Getting all the way up here to these lower highs is going to be very interesting if that is the case. Let's double check if there's a possibility of a leading diagonal here. There is a chance now for a leading diagonal down, a contracting diagonal here. So yeah, even though you get that bounce, it could still be a lower high. With this new structure, we have a potential of a contracting diagonal if it were to bounce to sweep up 96k, like someone was pointing out here in the comment section, in the next coming hours between today and tomorrow. This actually could be a larger contracting diagonal at the moment, even though we bounce from here. If we do form a corrective overlappy bounce, it could still be very much bearish. Anyway, it is Friday. We want to be aware. It's a dangerous zone. I wouldn't be too aggressive if you're trying to long here. Eventually, the levels of support, guys, based on the danger of forming a wave 3 down. This is literally an area where you want to manage risk. Yes, you can attempt the point of controls, you can attempt the SFBs, but you don't want to go crazy here, because if you basically got this fair value gap pump, you don't want to go too crazy here. If you lose this zone, we could literally mirror something very similar from the rejection of all-time high, right? Multiple 1-2. You're like looking for this reaction bounce here. You get little bounces on the lower time frame like we're doing, but then ends up really breaking down here on a Friday. So very cautious. Manage risk here. This is literally, you don't want to get trapped in any long positions with this movement down. It could literally tank in a wave 3, right? Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Could be looking for that big breakdown. I wouldn't give too many chances here and wouldn't go too crazy with long positions. No adding to any longs here. This is danger zone. Danger zone here. At least with my understanding, of course. Legends, much love to everybody, okay? Absolute legend. Thank you very much for joining today's stream. And I'll catch you up later on throughout the weekend. Bull trap on the table, or bear trap, and then rocket. Much love. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Remember, if you are wanting to join a community that we are very active, we look for very strong setups, education every day. We've got many coaches. We've been building up this for the last few months. Make sure to send me a DM to join the trading community, guys. You got the first link down below in the description. And if you are looking to trade on any platform, you do have, of course, Bluffin with some great deals, okay? You get VIP 1 as soon as you sign up, and you got really good bonuses as you trade that will be airdropped to your exchange, of course. Thank you very much, legends, for joining today's live stream. Take care. Have a great weekend and be very cautious here. It is Friday. Friday is a very dumpy day. We are trying to hold on this zone. We have, I wouldn't go too crazy here in attempting any longs, multiple 1-2s, and then the third wave breakdown is very much a reality here. Manage risk. The bulls have a chance, but it's getting very, very tight at this moment. It is support. It is trying to hold. Manage risk, legends. Much love to everybody. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.